Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, welcome if you're new. It is 27 degrees outside today and I've decided to go for a very vampy smoky look. I don't really know why, but I've been feeling the vampy smoky looks lately, so I've been enjoying that. I'm just gonna ignore that this is possibly the last beautiful day of summer that we're getting here. But whatever. So today I have the update for my No Pan Left Behind project, in which I'm trying to use every shadow that I have in my collection at least once. Although this year we're taking things as they come, I guess. I'm not forcing myself to use any shadows that I don't want to use. Last year I used every shadow in my collection. I really wanted to complete No Pan Left Behind. This year I'm also using it as a sort of a guideline to see what shadows I use and which ones I don't, and maybe which ones I can declutter. So last update, we got rid of some palettes. I think that was last update. Maybe the update before that. Doesn't really matter. Last update I used 12 new shadows in my collection. This month I did the same, so I'm gonna put over the screen my graph of all of my shadows. They're getting colored in as the months progress, so we're doing a rainbow. January was red, then we have orange, yellow, light green for April, dark green for May, light blue for June, dark blue for July, and then this month August is an even darker blue. I was running out of colors. So we have a very dark blue for August. I used 12 new shadows, like I said, so I'm at least happy I matched the amount of use that I did last month. It is getting harder because there's just shadows left that I haven't used that I don't really feel like using. It's also kind of a season thing, I think, but there's definitely shadows in this that are still uncolored that I don't think I'll ever use. So let's go look at some shadows and palettes that I have used this month. So I did use one Glam shop single. I'm not gonna pull out my whole palette. Honestly, don't know looking at it right now which one it was that I used, but it doesn't really matter. There's one that I used. Then I used a fair few of Colourpop singles, and that is because I changed my Panda palette around. So I changed my Panda palette around. I had some shadows in here from Colourpop and some from Viseart. I put 3 new Colourpop shadows in here that I hadn't used yet, and I've since used them. I'm not going to open it because I don't want to spoil anything. So that helped. And then I also did a Get Ready With Me, which came alive, I think it was my last video or the video before that. I will link it for you guys in the cards. And I did a palette bingo and I rolled my Colourpop singles. So when I rolled those shadows, they were all shadows that I hadn't used yet this year, so that really helped. So that's really where my uses came from this month for my Colourpop singles. I used one shadow out of the Michael Beauty Shop Serpent palette. There's that. Do you want to see that palette? I don't know. Does it really matter? And then I used 4 shadows out of the Glam Lite Lord of the Rings palette. So that is good. I used this whole row, which I love that look. Normally not the biggest green fan, but I like these types of green, like the army green or like the murky greens. So I've been enjoying that. And yeah, so we have in this palette this row left to use, and then this row left to use. Is that correct? Yeah. So there's that. And then that actually concludes this update. That's crazy. I am thinking about doing a video in which I try to dupe some palettes or some shadows that are in my collection, because I have a few that I just know that I'm not going to use all of the shadows, and I'm just keeping for like 1 or 2 shades that are in there, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna either see in hopefully that video if I can dupe them in my collection, so if I have something similar, so that I can let go of the entire palette, or if maybe I'll have to depot some shadows here and there, and then I'll also make a video about that, because I just love depotting shadows, and I know that there's people who really enjoy watching that. So there's that. That's a promise. If I'm gonna depot something, I will film it for you guys. But that is all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in one of my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.